Hi, this is my African vacation. My first stop, Cape Town, South Africa. I land in Cape Town Airport to start my journey. The first thing I see in Cape Town is Table Mountain. To get there, I take an aerial cable. I then leave my group for the night to go see a great soccer game at Cape Town Stadium. The next day, I go to Camp Bay to take a swim. To finish my trip, I go and see the Great Castle of Good Hope. Next stop, Kalahari Desert. When we enter the Kalahari Desert, we see how big the vegetation is and how hot it is. But Kalahari is actually one of the deserts that supports more animals and plants than a true desert. In the Kalahari, there are a bunch of basins. So we stop for the night at the Kagagagati Transfrontier Park. The next morning, we get to see a bunch of animals. We see a family of muskrats that always stick together. Later that day, we see a family of ostriches roaming through our camp. Next place we visit is Chobe National Park in Botswana. On a trip to Botswana, we get to go to the Chobe National Park and go on a 2-day safari to see 6 of the famous animals from the savannah. The first animal we see is a group of elephants. The second animal we see is a herd of zebras eating grass. The last animal we find that day is the great male lion. The next morning, we start again, and we find a cheetah and its cub. The second animal we find that day is a great big giraffe. The last animal we find on a safari trip is the hyena. And that ends our trip to Botswana on the Chobe National Park. Next stop, the Great Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls is found in Zimbabwe, Africa. Here's a picture on how the river flows. First thing we do while we're at Victoria Falls is go whitewater rafting down the hill. Second thing we do is take a swim in Devil's Pool. We then go sightseeing and take a couple of pictures while we're at Victoria Falls. Next place we'll be visiting is Uganda. While in Uganda, we visit the Chobe National Park. The Chobe National Park is covered in thick rainforest and is home to 13 different primates. The first primate we find is a Uganda red Columbus. The second one is a nice old friendly chimpanzee. We then find a striped chameleon and a tree pangolin. Next stop, Nairobi, Kenya. When I get to Kenya, I got to see the city of Nairobi. When I first saw the city of Nairobi, I saw the wealthy side. But there is more to it. Nairobi is one of the 30 poorest countries in the world. And that's how I end my trip. I then did something very dangerous. I visited the city of Somalia. I visited many websites and they all warned me. Somalia has been trying to fix itself for about 20 years now. Luckily, I was there when the Eid festival was going on at the Mogadishu Mosque. For my last stop, Timbuktu, Mali. When I got to Timbuktu, the first thing we went to go see was the Djibir Mosque, the world-famous building made out of clay. While there, I got to see a bunch of ancient writings from old times. And that marks the end of my fantastic vacation with the map of my journey placed to the end.